But I've been informed that we have a guest back there who might have an update for us from Ted Blue's office, Janet Turner. If you'd like to come up to the front and give us all an update. And if you have something that needs to be handed out, please, we're all here to help. So.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Sure.
Here.
Well, this is Cozy's office. Oh, do you want me to? So, in keeping up the theme of the coronavirus, I just wanted to note that our congressman questioned the CDC director on the coronavirus test kits and their response in a congressional hearing. He's quite concerned. If you follow his tweets, you'll be seeing that he's tweeting about it. But again, he has been talking to the experts, and our office has been staying in touch with the LA County Department of Public Health, which seems to be on top of it. Do you agree?
Yes.
The LA County seems to be on top of it. I wanted to just briefly tell you, because you're a bunch of people who like figures, I think. Wanted to tell you some of what your congressman did last year. Last year, he introduced 38 bills. Of those, 14 had Republican co-sponsors. 11 of those got passed in the House. And he co-sponsored 480 bills. He was listed as one of the top 10 most prolific legislators in Congress. So just to let you know, he's working really hard for you. As you know, also, it's really difficult to get anything through the Senate, but he actually got something through the Senate. He, with of course help of his colleagues, was able to get legislation through so that the West Los Angeles Armory could be turned into a shelter. This is really quite big. It took federal legislation first and state legislation, but now the county is going to be building a long-term, it's called temporary bridge housing, not temporary, bridge housing, it's actually for any homeless person. And so that was a big win. That was a big win to even get it signed. And it was signed. So the Congressman is working very hard also on homelessness. He introduced another bill with Senator Feinstein that would give cities $750 million to provide not only housing but also comprehensive services like mental health and substance abuse. He's supporting a bill by Representative Waters that would allocate $13 billion nationwide in addressing homelessness. And he's in the process of working on yet another one. So
that's 13 billion.
Yeah, a billion.
Billion, but that's a proportion because California has 75% of the homeless people in the country. So we get most of that.
Well, we'll have to see how it. The bills have to go into committee, and then we'll see how it comes out. The idea is the federal government for a long time actually didn't believe that homelessness was their job. They believed it was a local issue, except for veterans. And as you know, the government has given a great deal of money for HUD-based vouchers for veterans. So the congressman has been pushing Congress with help of some colleagues to realize this is a national issue that has to be addressed. And so, as I said, several bills are out there in Congress, and if we have a friendlier administration next year, we just might see some of those pass. So we'll have to see. I gave you a handout just briefly because I don't know if any of you have been affected by this, but the House is trying to restore our state and local tax deductions, which were taken away by the tax changes that the president put into order. And another big issue a lot of people worry about is the cost of drugs. And so this is like for your nighttime reading. It's referred to usually as Bill number H, legislation Bill H. This bill not only would help lower the cost of drugs, if you have any relatives who are on Medicare, it would make some major improvements on Medicare. It would give those on Medicare dental, hearing aids, and one other thing too. Dental and hearing aids. So again, I don't want to go into all the details with you, but just thought you might like to know that that has passed the House. It's just, we just have to get this to be taken up in the Senate. Just a couple of other things that we've heard are worrying people, many parents, and several bills have been initiated, and this has to do with vaping. I'm looking here at 3 bills that the Congressman has co-sponsored that would help educate youth and would just kind of address the dangers of vaping. We've heard from a lot of parents. This is a big concern, especially in the junior high school and high school area. So, as you see, the Congressman is really busy. And I don't want to, get into the weeds, but I'm happy to take any questions anybody has.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
The committees that Congressman is in,
Yes.
they have to do with cyber.
Judiciary and foreign
He's on
affairs.
the committee for, let's say, cyber attacks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that some of the other people may not know this, okay? So in that arena, how much time or bills has he initiated? Because I know he's like the go-to guy.
He actually has initiated quite a few.
Okay.
And it wasn't in the last batch of updates. And sometimes I don't know, actually I should have realized this group would be interested in that. So quite a few. He's actually a leader
Right.
in that, and he feels an obligation because he's one of the few computer science majors that's in Congress. And
Yeah, there's only 4 and he's one.
yeah, he is a big advocate and has done quite a bit. But again, they passed the House, and they're just on the desk in the Senate. So I'm happy to send Rusba some information that he can put on the website, because the Congressman has done extensive work. It's become a specialty of his. But thank you for bringing that up.
It's interesting, and this is anything, I guess, specific to Ted Lieu, but kind of just maybe more commentary. We're having, Ted Lieu is trying to get lower drug costs, but the reality is the cost of drugs is what it is because of the R&D that's required
That's
by,
not true.
by the FDA.
That's not true, sir.
Okay.
And I'm happy to send you.
So it's the actual government agency that causes the cost of it to be as expensive as it is.
So
Because those drugs are
let me
very
clarify that.
Okay.
So initially, you're right in the sense that there is a great cost to
cost.
get drugs going. But what's happening now is that drugs that have been on the market for years and years and years and have paid back the R&D, they're finding loopholes in the laws, and generic drugs are being, you have to pay 10, 20 times what they normally are. Insulin, the price of insulin has gone out of sight. If you have HIV, it's incredible how much it costs to be able to get that drug. Even the co-pays now are high. But I'm happy to give you more on that. So initially, you're right. That the R&D is quite high on drugs to get them to the market. Of course, the FDA would say you kind of want them to do this research. And I know that the Congressman has been looking at a bill that Senator Sanders proposed that would help combine the efforts of Europe with the U.S. Sometimes they're ahead of us on some of these things, but
But some would
But
argue.
to think that the whole problem right now of the high cost of drugs is just that, it's not.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It's-
There's
and it's-
surely, there's the back end problem too, where there hasn't been tort reform as far as, hey, what can happen to these drug companies if their drugs have adverse consequences, and the amount of money that essentially attorneys, no offense, are able to get from the companies when there are adverse consequences. So it's obviously not one problem, right? It's you do have the upfront cost of the R&D, but certainly the back end exposure to these drug companies, it's like in the end they have to bring in enough money in order to handle all these situations, right? So really, I think it's where's the happy marriage with all of this, where we regulate them well enough, but yet they can't be sued to where it could go out of business, people lose their jobs. I mean, there's all sorts of problems there.
Again, the
Complicated
congressman is a big supporter of small business especially, and he is very concerned about people losing their jobs. But let me take your card, because I didn't prepare for that. There's tons of stuff on what's going on with the high price of drugs, life-saving drugs that have been around for a long time, that manufacturers have figured out, I can take advantage of this loophole and just raise the price enormously. If you know anybody with diabetes, you would know how bad this is. Do you agree with me?
My son gets his from Mexico. I've got a doctor on the border of Mexico in San Diego, and I just get it from him at a third the cost that I can get it here for him.
Right.
And so,
It's really high. It's really high. Our office is always available. If you have a nonprofit, we're always happy to help you write a letter of support for any grants that you might like to apply for. If anybody has a nonprofit.
Thank you, Janet. I want to give some testimony about getting help from the Congressman Ted Luz locally. With the post office messed up in this area, USPS, most of my mail got lost, my check didn't arrive, my payment didn't send out. And with help of the congressional investigation, Janet helped me a lot, and they changed the entire management team at the Barrington post office, and now everything gets fixed. Even locally, if you need anything, you think that the congressman can help, reach out to Janet. She is very helpful and always supporting the community. That was really good, and that's unbelievable. The general manager came to my restaurant and apologized and bring all of my broken and damaged packages to restaurant and gave it to me. That was lost for months.